Welcome to my UFC 282 main card predictions. Starting off with the first fight on the main card, which is Bryce Mitchell versus Ilan Topuria. See, the thing is, I don't know if in the press conference, Topuria was really going at Paddy Pimblett. Really, they've got quite a lot of. They were standing up, ready to, security had to get involved and stuff. So just to hold them back, nothing more than that. But Bryce Mitchell seems quite quietly there. I think. See, as a standard, Topuria has got the experience, maybe I'd say. I not experience as in also that I think he would beat Bryce normally, but I don't know. I think it is a very close fight, and it's really like whichever way you want to go with it. I think Bryce Mitchell, if he gets you down on the ground, I think you're pretty done in. If you're on the ground with him. And do I think Topuria's going to try and get him out there early? I think so. I think Bryce Mitchell is a bit of a weird one where I wouldn't normally say the guy's going to win. And it's mainly down to like how he is in press conferences and stuff. Like kind of very like not really there, but his record stands for itself. He's a very good fighter, but. Hey, can he beat Topuria? I think it's going to be so close, and I think even if he loses, it's going to be this close. I think it doesn't matter for Bryce Mitchell. I think it works for him, but do I think he actually gets to finish now? I think he does. I think Topuria is going to be wanting to show people who he is, what he is, and especially to Paddy Pimblett, who's saying basically nothing, you can't do anything. He's going to want to show how good he is. I think it's going to cost him. I think he's going to rush forward. Bryce is going to get a takedown. And it's going to be, okay, straight away, Bryce Mitchell round one. And then, you've got to win the next round. Otherwise, you've got to get the KO. And do I think he gets it? I think the more and more desperate he becomes, the better for Bryce. Because it will mean the takedowns come easier when he's launching in for strikes. So I think Bryce Mitchell gets it done by decision. I think that's a bit of a one that many people probably wouldn't pick, but I'm picking him just because I think I think Topuria has just got a bit of emotion on his side currently, and I don't think he realises the opponent across from him is a very decent fighter, and. I hope Bryce gets it because, a guy in the press conference, very, very civil, very, answer the question and that's it. It gets on with it. So, yeah, Bryce by decision. Straight to the next fight is a good fight here. Darren Till versus Duplessis. And sadly, being from England, I think Duplessis gets it done. I think he does. I think Darren Till's been out the game too long. I think the last fight was back in April 21. Duplessis is a great fighter who's been fighting more regularly, but I just don't think Darren Till wants it anymore. And I think even in the press conference when he said something along the lines of, I'm normally the one starting on about Paddy Pimblett. I'm normally the one starting fights and things in the press conferences, and today I'm not. Even when Duplessis was saying stuff like, "Don't think he has it anymore. Don't think he's a great fighter previously, but he hasn't got it anymore." He just sat there. I think that's sad, and I hope it's not true. I really do. Darren Till, a great fighter and a great fighter for British MMA, a very top level guy, and who everyone thought was going to be a world champion. but I don't. I think it's going to be sad, and I think that it's going to be it. I think Duplessis is so big. I think he's so good. I think he's got the strength difference. The difference in strength is going to be quite crazy in there. And I think Darren Till's going to get finished. I think Duplessis by KO or TKO. And I think Darren Till probably doesn't retire straight away. I don't think he retires in the cage, but I don't think he fights again. I think, and if he does, it's not going to be something people want to see. I think it's going to be a sad, I normally say stuff like this in fight predictions, but I do think it's going to be a bit sad, the way he's going to get beaten. I think Duplessis is going to put it on him, and I don't think Darren Till's going to cope. Darren Till, who fought, top end of this division, of MMA at least, and I don't think it works. I think Duplessis is just a good fighter, a better fighter, and I think being out of the cage from April 21 and not really doing anything in there and saying now you're focused, now you've got it, you should have been focused back then, and there's a reason why you weren't, probably because you don't want it anymore, meaning if you didn't want it back then, why do you want it now? And I think that's going to be shown up a bit. I think he's probably trained like he says. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but I think it's just you need time in the cage, and if you haven't been in there since April 21, I think it's just, well, what are you doing? Have you retired, or is this just a try and comeback fight? And I hope it is a comeback fight for him, but I think Duplessis is a bit of a tough opponent to come back on, and I think he loses it really. And next fight coming up, Ponzinibbio versus Alex Moreno now. So that's changed from, I'm guessing the last minute change from, well, not last minute exactly, but from Lawler, which I was predicting the Lawler to get KO'd. I thought it was going to get done early against Alex Moreno. I think it's a bit more of a tough one. I think Alex Moreno is coming off a win, but do I still who would I say comes out of this on top? It's a hard one. I think Ponzinibbio still comes out on top. I think he does it. I think he's just got that bit more. I think against Lawler, I think it was going to be a easy. I think now it's going to be a lot harder. I mean, definitely a lot harder. But I think it's I think Ponzinibbio, a last minute replacement for Alex Moreno, is going to put him off. Ponzinibbio training. Okay, he's got a different opponent now than Lawler, but hey, was he really training specifically to fight against Lawler? Probably not. I wouldn't say he was. I don't see that Lawler offers up much difficulty in the modern day now, as he is now, to need to focus completely on his style. I think Alex Moreno brings a lot more of a challenge, but I think the last minute replacement, Ponzinibbio, has been in training camp for this fight. I think Ponzinibbio gets it done. I think by decision. I don't think he's going to get a KO or anything like that, but I think Ponzinibbio still gets it done. I think it's slightly different, maybe. Whether he still it is a bit harder if they both had full training camps, but Ponzinibbio by decision. And then up to the co-main with Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. I think they're two very good fighters. It's probably Paddy Pimblett's biggest challenge so far, and I think, not, and that's not to say truer things that are quite obvious. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett's going up the levels. He's got the stardom, so he needs to every time he fights an opponent, he needs to be in a tougher challenge, and he needs to win them and to get up to that higher states of the levels. I think Jared Gordon is very good. I think it'll be hard for Paddy, and it'll be his toughest challenge in there. I think Paddy's still got that bit of unorthodox stuff that will catch Jared Gordon out. I think Paddy has just got. I think he's just going to get caught, and then we'll finish it on the floor. I think that's going to happen. He's going to get caught. I think Jared Gordon's going to be that little. He's not going to see something coming. That the unorthodox stuff Paddy does. I think he's going to get caught. And then once Paddy's on the ground with you and you're a bit rocked, it's pretty much the end of the day. So round 2 submission, I think, could be ground and pound, but whichever way he gets finished on the ground. And I think it's a good. If Paddy Pimblett wins this, it's a great display for him. If he wins by KO submission or finishes it early at least, it's a great showing by Paddy. That ability is more. I think going on about another fighter, Molly McCann. I think Paddy's probably going up in echelons where he's gonna win. You know what I mean? Hopefully, Jared Gordon, he keeps going up. But with Molly McCann, she's also got that stardom in the women's division, but lost. And so I think it's a bit harder now for her to go up. Whereas I think the fight she had was slightly. I think she probably needed something less on that. On the toughness scale of tough opponents, I think she needed probably a step down or something from what she fought to keep the hype train going, because that's what UFC wants to do. With these Paddy Pimbletts and stuff that are getting people to the sport. Paddy Pimblett is bringing people to the sport. Molly McCann as well. When they win, the UFC wins. So, they are trying to get them up there, but if they can't, it kind of derails it. It'd be like a sense of I wouldn't say as big as Conor McGregor, but it'd be like a Conor McGregor doing all the talk, being all the showman and not pulling out. The reason Conor McGregor is so good and everyone sees him is he did so much for the UFC. Is because he did that stardom, like Paddy Pimblett's trying to get, like Molly McCann's trying to get, like all these, but he actually backed it up with every performance. I mean, he knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. I mean, you need to back it up. There needs to be the skill and also the ability to speak. Speak in public, media, call people out, give it the entertainment factor of even it's an entertainment show. The mass majority of UFC is not for the hardcore. The hardcore are a very small section of the UFC base that actually buy the pay-per-views, to buy the seats to the stadiums. What the UFC needs to cater to, for business perspective, is the mass, which is why Paddy Pimblett's on a co-main event. That's why. Because they're catering to people who know Paddy Pimblett, know the name. So yeah, I think Paddy Pimblett gets it done and keeps the hype train going. And going on to the main event, Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz. So, 2 very good fighters, I think, with Glover Teixeira having his shoulder, and this is basically for the vacant title. And Glover has got, I think Dana White was saying about his shoulder injury being very severe. I think these are the guys that are going to basically, even when Glover comes back, are going to be the de facto title holders. So, Glover, if he comes back, and that's a real if he does come back, because I think with that type of injury, are you actually going to be able to throw punches anymore? If it's that severe, a shoulder isn't the best idea. You're grappling, things like that. I'm not too hopeful with the rumours of how bad it is. So I think even when he does come back, I think these guys are going to be the future of that title holding. And I think Ankalaev is that that better guy. I think Ankalaev beats Glover Teixeira anyway. I don't think, I think Ankalaev wins that, and he beats Juan Blachowicz as well. I don't think they offer much against him. I think he's just so good. I think he showed against Anthony Smith. I know he's a bit lower level than Juan Blachowicz, but he quite dominated him. Even when he hit him and then Smith went for something, he just countered it perfectly and then got him on the ground and did exactly what he needed to do. Anything Smith did, there was no answer for what Ankalaev could show him. So I think he's just got too much everywhere. I think it was a good show of defence, him getting up from the ground, and especially in his last fight, you know, it was great. He got put on the ground and he got round him and finished him. It was just... And also, the leg kicks are very good on the feet. They're very good. Ankalaev, TKO, KO. If I had to say a round, I think it'd be round 2. I think Blachowicz goes out of round 1 going, what do I do, corner, basically. Let's have a minute rest. Let's have a think about what I'm going to do now. And Ankalaev's just going to put him into the corners, cut off the cage, and back him up so much that he's just going to get rushed, I think. And then he goes for anything like a takedown, a clinch. I think Ankalaev uses that against him, just counters it, gets him in a worse position, and just finishes him. After I think there'll be a couple knockdowns first, and he just gets straight back up and goes, "Whoa, okay, that was a warning." And I think Blachowicz just gets knocked down. All right, I think we see at the end of this fight that we see that, oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that is that next sort of level. This getting it towards like only if John Jones came back sort of thing in his prime. John Jones is probably the best light heavyweight ever, but you're looking at that next level that would need to be there to beat Ankalaev, and so it's probably going to be that next how do I say it? Next tier of people. So the next young people coming into the sport that would bring something to beat Ankalaev, which would be I don't know who's in the light heavyweight division. I think Tom Aspinall is. I think he's got something that could give him something, but does he beat Ankalaev? I think it's tough. I think Ankalaev's a tough test because he's shown what he can do. So I think you're looking at I think you've got to say Ankalaev's going to win it and keep it for quite a while, unless someone like Tom Aspinall comes up and beats him, which I could see, but it's going to be a tough challenge. But it'll be that next sort of tier of fighter who, if they get past the tests that they've got currently and they fight for a title, they could do it. So yeah, that's my predictions for UFC 282. Please put your comments in down below. I'd love to hear what you think of my predictions and what your own predictions are, really. And also, please like, subscribe. It really helps me out. I think these UFC content is doing quite well. I mean, the last non-fight night UFC got a good 400 views or something. It's on now. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And yeah, let me know what you're thinking, if you want anything different in these sort of prediction videos. And cheers.